Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy Chronicles of Zerzura. Moi drodzy, w poprzednim odcinku udało nam się zdobyć 2 fragmenty klucza. Potrzebujemy jeszcze mapy, dlatego cofnęliśmy się z powrotem do tej świątyni i mam nadzieję, że uda nam się przesunąć tamtą kamienną skrzynię. Potrzebowaliśmy coś śliskiego, a my zdobyliśmy mydło. Co prawda nie jest to mydło płynne, ale mam nadzieję, że tyle wystarczy. Dobra, mamy tutaj kamienny cokół. Wybierzmy zatem mydło z naszego ekwipunku i spróbujmy go tutaj użyć.
Soap is certainly a good lubricant, but not when it's solid.
No dobra, ale mamy tutaj pochodnie. Gdyby udało się to w jakiś sposób rozpuścić, z drugiej strony mamy też dzban na wodę.
The piece of soap is too big. I can't get it in there.
Ale z tego co pamiętam, mamy też nóż w ekwipunku.
That's how I make the soap smaller.
No i świetnie. I teraz moje pytanie brzmi, czy ja tego mydła w dzbanie... Woda z mydłem. A, to się chyba automatycznie samo rozpuściło.
There has to be something in the plinth. The front side of it can be pushed in, but I can't do it alone.
No dobra, w takim razie poprośmy ponownie Rafiego o pomoc.
Hello, Rafi.
Hey, Feodorus, what's the plan?
Pomoc.
Rafi, let's try again.
Yes, now it's starting to move.
Obstawiam, że tam będzie jakieś tajemne przejście.
So let's see where this passage leads to.
I'll tell the others.
The map room. Look here, a huge relief map.
No powiem tak, jest tutaj mega ciemno.
Ugh, it smells as though generations of rats have died and been reborn here.
You could be right. Who knows how long this room has been sealed? Ramon, come here. You have to see this. I'm coming. This relief here must be the map. There are distinctive points engraved in it.
A statue. Mountains.
The statue could be the temple that we're in right now.
Exactly. And there's Mount Sababa. There's a river, and there, the sea.
Yes. Strange. And what's this bird in the sea?
That's the symbol for Zerzura. That can't be right. Zerzura is in the middle of the desert, not in the sea.
Perhaps you're just looking for the wrong city. Not Zerzura, but Atlantis. No wonder no one can find it.
Perhaps the sea is also just a symbol for the endless breadth of the desert.
There seems to be something else engraved next to the bird. It could be the symbol for distance.
Really?
No dobra, udało nam się wyjść do świątyni, mamy mapę. Tylko czy my tą mapę będziemy w stanie przerysować do naszego dziennika?
That's the Mediterranean.
That's here.
That could be the ruined building that stands by the watering point.
That's the Mediterranean. You think that this symbol stands for Zerzura?
The dove, yes. But Zerzura doesn't lie in the Mediterranean, that much is sure.
A może w pierwszej kolejności powinniśmy udać się do Gołębicy i tam znajdziemy dalsze wskazówki?
That's the mountain called Sababa. It's well used in the desert for helping to navigate.
That's exactly where Tripoli is. I recognize the coastline.
The same symbol as in Tripoli.
Yes, it means city. That's not Zerzura, though.
There's another little symbol. What can it mean?
Where? Ah, That is the Egyptian symbol for distance.
Czy jeszcze coś znajdziemy na tej mapie charakterystycznego?
That's a pretty large and barren mountain.
Dobra, wydaje mi się, że całą mapkę sobie obczailiśmy, chociaż nie, tutaj mamy jeszcze oazę.
That has to be a really well-known oasis.
That'll be a river.
Rzeka, tak, morze, gołębica, odległość.
What does this little symbol mean? Here in the mountains.
That's the symbol for direction.
Odległość, kierunek.
And yet another oversized statue, this time with a cat's head.
This figure represents Bastet, the Egyptian goddess of love and fertility.
That's a pretty large.
No okej. A co mówi mi dziennik? Przygotowania do podróży. Fragment klucza. Mapa do Zerzury. Rafi mówi, że widział jaki to kawałek kryształów. Okej. Beduini. W sumie tylko tyle. Mają fragment klucza, ale coś zdecydowanie przerysowaliśmy do dziennika. Bo rozumiem, że tych kluczy tutaj nigdzie włożyć się nie da, nie? A, my mamy jeszcze linę do czegoś.
I'll tie the rope here.
Good idea. Make sure that you can't find Zerzura itself on the map.
Okej. Linę przywiązałem do góry. Tutaj gdzieś mieliśmy symbol kierunku. Wychodzi na to, że tą linę z czymś jeszcze będę mógł użyć. Ale z czym? Nie dość, że mogę wybierać kierunek, to jeszcze mogę wybrać odległość. Dobra, poczekajcie. Tutaj mamy symbol odległości prawdopodobnie. Czyli weźmy sobie, zaznaczmy tutaj i gdzieś był jeszcze symbol kierunku. To jest chyba symbol kierunku. Czyli wychodzi, że to musi być gdzieś w tej odległości. Ale ja tu nic nie widzę. Chociaż z drugiej strony... Jeszcze raz chcę zobaczyć, gdzie jest ten symbol.
What does this little symbol mean? Here in the mountains.
That's the symbol for direction.
Czyli tutaj mamy symbol kierunku, a tutaj przy gołębiu jest symbol odległości. Czyli tu mamy symbol kierunku i ten symbol kierunku pokazuje jakby na lewo. A tu mamy symbol odległości. Tylko nie wiem, czy to ma być skierowane tu, czy stąd ma być skierowane w to miejsce. Nie, bo ta strzałeczka pokazuje tak jakby na te góry. Ale wydaje mi się, że tą linę muszę mieć ustawioną mimo wszystko tu. Czy na pewno chcesz pominąć minigierkę? Nie. Ale zobaczcie, tutaj mamy jakiś złoty budynek, nie?
Zerzura has to be there.
Okej. Czyli jednak udało nam się.
Look here. In the southeast. Zerzura must be right there.
There's a range of black rocky mountains there. There's supposed to be an old monastery nearby.
A monastery in the middle of the desert.
It's an old pilgrim site. About 2 days' march from here.
Now I understand what the Inquisitor meant. I heard him talking about an old pilgrim site when I was in prison. That must have been the monastery.
For sure. Southeast is also the direction he is supposed to have taken.
What is he doing in the monastery? Does he hope to find the missing fragments of the key there?
Possibly. And if the thing about the mountains is true, then he's also quite close to Zerzura.
Zerzura is actually supposed to be surrounded by mountains.
Then the city must be easy to find. And perhaps we don't need the pieces of the key at all. We'll just climb over the walls, or have sail down from one of the mountains.
If it were that easy, then the Inquisitor would have been in there ages ago. Right, Ramon?
Yes, the pieces of the key don't just open the gate. They ensure that Zerzura can be found in the first place. Without the complete key, the city remains hidden to those searching.
Oh, mystical. That really pushes the prices up.
What are you talking about? We are not making this journey in order to plunder the city.
I don't intend to, but a tiny little brick as a souvenir, or a prong from the Queen's crown, that's fair enough, isn't it?
Don't you dare!
Ramon, calm down.
Ah!
You mustn't get all wound up. Raffi didn't mean it like that, right, Raffi?
Right. I'm crawling through the desert on my last legs, purely out of friendship.
There'll be something or other in it for you. Now pull yourself together and behave like a nice person for a change.
Like you mean? First, I'll have to fall in love with a smart talker from Barcelona.
Don't talk rubbish.
No powiem tak, ja Raffiemu nie ufam od samego początku, kiedy tutaj dotarliśmy. Zresztą wiemy, czym on się zajmuje, nie? To nie jest człowiek, który jest godny zaufania. Dobra, wydaje mi się, że muszę wyjść na zewnątrz, odpalić swoją mapę i udać się w nowe lokacje.
As long as I don't have to talk to him, I'd prefer to leave it.
Dokładnie.
I'd rather say nothing to her than talk rubbish. I don't have anything to ask the aim. My brother needs to rest.
Tutaj mamy ruiny, mamy punkt nawadniania, góry, Trypolis, a gdzie jest to miejsce, do którego rzekomo powinniśmy się udać? Chyba że ja tam na dole coś miałem zrobić przy tej mapie.
We'll head back to the watering point.
No dobra, trafiliśmy z powrotem do punktu nawadniania. My musimy udać się do oazy. Tylko... czy ja tą oazę widziałem na mapie? No niekoniecznie.
I don't have anything to ask the Emir at the moment. Chat with Raffi. My brother needs... I'd rather say no.
Porozmawiać w dalszym ciągu z nikim nie mogę. A ja nie widzę żadnych interaktywnych punktów na mapie. Bo mam tylko i wyłącznie Trypolis, góry, punkt nawadniania i ruiny. Chyba że muszę przeanalizować swój notatnik, bo tam też się pojawiły jakieś nowe zapiski. Beduini. Podobno beduińscy handlarze mają fragment klucza, który czai w swoim obozie na pustyni. Zdecydowanie powinienem to sprawdzić, ale zanim powiedzą mi, gdzie jest ich obóz, muszę zdobyć ich zaufanie. Muszę zdobyć zaufanie Beduinów. Beduini to są handlarze. Okej.
There's nothing for us there.
Może faktycznie w pierwszej kolejności powinienem udać się do Trypolis.
That's it for now.
Na razie to tyle.
I don't have anything to ask the Emir at the moment.
Okej. Czy ja coś będę mógł użyć na kupcu?
And how might things be with your trust levels if you saw what I've got here with me?
But how can that be? The holy crystal. How did you come by that?
It came from heaven. Where else? It fell right into my hands and then led me here.
Exactly as happened with our priestess. You must be an important man back where you come from.
Correct. And it is in that function that I must speak with your priestess.
She will most certainly be very pleased. I can describe the route you must follow to find her. You must go alone. No one else but you.
Very well. Can you please show me the way on the map?
Świetnie, będziemy mieli nową lokalizację.
Adios.
May the sun be with you.
Niestety mogę tam ruszyć tylko i wyłącznie samemu.
I don't have anything to ask. We'll head back to the watering point.
Mamy obóz Beduinów.
A key fragment.
Hands off! The holy shard may not be touched.
Dobra, kamienie. Kim jest ta kapłanka?
An altar made of wood, rotten and hung with feathers and bones. Just the right setting for a fake sun fragment.
Musiałbym zdobyć zaufanie Beduinów. To może być trudne.
That's seen service a few times. Looks rather used. There's a small circle of painted stones around the altar, all of them resembling the key fragment.
Beduinka, Beduinka.
Who'd have thought it? Sand in the desert.
Wziąłem kolejny piasek.
Nobody will notice if I take a handful with me.
To już drugi, który mam w ekwipunku, czyli mam mokry piasek i mam suchy piasek.
Cloth, bags, lanterns. Pretty well all the things that should be sold by the merchants in Tripoli. Hello, can I ask you something?
Ask away, stranger.
Zanim porozmawiam z kapłanką, porozmawiam z tutejszymi mieszkańcami. Zerzura.
What do you know about Zerzura?
To search for it is meaningless. The wind alone has the power to reveal the city.
The wind? What has that got to do with it?
It forms the sand, spins it around, moves dunes and mountains. If you anger it, it will take away your sight of the heavens, and you will never ever find your way back.
Kapłanka.
What do you think of the priestess?
She is the only one who knows how to handle the shard. Thanks to her goodness, we don't have to fear the fire anymore. She enjoys our greatest respect.
Fragment klucza.
The crystal on the altar. Why is it worshipped?
Why do you ask? Because it comes from the sun, of course.
Of course. And how did it get here?
How? It fell from the sky.
Right on top of the priestess, I take it.
Yes, and it bleached her eyes and her hair. It was so bright.
And her wits?
It has granted her great power over the fire. Since she has been here, it only flares up with her permission.
So, does that mean that every time you want to roast a piece of meat, the priestess has to bless it?
Quite right. As a thanks for her goodwill, she gets half of the meal.
And anyone who doesn't obey goes up in flames?
In the beginning, it was always tents that were set on fire. But since then, We have become accustomed to the power of the shard.
The power of the shard. Now that you have it, what are you going to do with the shard?
Nothing at all. We worship it. When the sun wants it back, then it will make it light up.
So it would light up.
That's what the priestess said.
And that's why it lies in the shade, yes? Without sunlight, it will never light up, and the rule of the priestess will last forever.
What's that you're saying? It's a shard from the sun. It doesn't need any sunlight. If it needs to, it will light itself.
No powiem tak, przerąbane mają w tym obozie i głupie jakieś zwyczaje. Pustynia.
It's a hard life in the desert, isn't it?
The only one worth living.
Goodbye.
May the wind always be at your back, stranger.
Czy z tą beduinką też będę mógł pogadać?
One of the Bedouins. Barely recognizable as a woman under that mask. Good lady, can I ask you something?
Nothing that I couldn't also answer.
Rozumiem.
He belongs to the Bedouin people, although Uncle Tabit used to say that the Bedouin as such don't exist. But there are lots of different nomadic groups. They call themselves the Free, or Sons of the Wind and Sun, or the People of the Sun.
Sznurek do prania.
It would seem that washing is dried in the same way everywhere. I've got enough clothing, but maybe I can still use that piece of cloth.
Nie ma to jak się wpierdzielić do wioski Beduinów i rozkraść im kawałek materiału. A jakaś przynależność? Za to? Nie wiem. Chodźmy porozmawiać z kapłanką.
Greetings, Honorable Priestess.
What leads you to me?
Artefakt.
I'd love to know why that piece of crystal is lying on the altar there.
Because it's holy, and I would advise you not to get too close to it.
Why not? Will I become cursed or spontaneously combust?
It's no laughing matter. Fire is holy to us.
To whom? You or the Bedouins?
My people call themselves the people of the sun.
I don't care. I'm really only interested in the piece of crystal. What do you want for it? I'll pay any price.
The thought alone is perverse. That holy object is not for sale. Not in any circumstance.
Rozumiem. Zerzura.
You have an unusual hair color.
And what's that supposed to mean? Would you like me to put you in touch with my barber?
If he's in Zerzura, why not? I'd love to call in there.
Without the complete key, you will never get there. It was broken to destroy all hope of return. And most of the people among whom it was divided died long ago. So you can stop running around here telling your fairy tales.
Pani, ja już mam 2 fragmenty klucza. Ten jest trzeci, ostatni, który potrzebuję.
I know where the crystal really comes from, and you know it too.
What are you getting at?
It comes from Zerzura, and you also know that there are more of them.
That doesn't alter the fact that it came from the gods themselves.
Maybe, but it's definitely not here to be worshipped. It's part of a greater whole to which it belongs.
This piece belongs to the people of the sun and no one else. The other 11 parts are no concern of ours.
11 parts, you say? Then there are 12 in total.
I thought you would know that. Don't you know anything at all?
The question is more, what do your people know? How would they react if they heard you had brought the crystal from Zerzura?
Be my guest. The people here have a great fear of the city of no return. When they learn that I am from there, the awe in which they already hold me will grow immeasurably. The holy crystal stays where it is.
Fragment klucza.
These 12 key fragments, what do you know about them?
You surely don't think that I'd tell you anything about them, do you?
Why not? Isn't it in your interest to return to Zerzura one day?
Why should I believe in it, though? Why should I long for something my whole life, somewhere I'll never set foot in? All of those who have done that are dead. I, however, am alive, like a queen, and that's how it should stay.
Okej. Lud tuagerów.
What does it feel like, leading gullible people around by the nose?
What do you want from me? I'm not hurting anyone.
No? You're not? A tent goes up in flames when people dare to cook a meal without your permission.
I am powerless against the will of the fire.
How can that be? I thought power over fire was the whole point of the story of the shard that fell from heaven.
The shard proves me only to be an earthly medium, but the sun is the true mistress of the fire.
Adios.
May the spirits guide you ever further into the desert.
Never to return, right?
I'll leave that to the spirits.
Czy jestem w stanie zwój z tekstem coś jej przekazać, żeby ona zmieniła zdanie? Ale pewnie zdania swojego nie zmieni. Mogę jej dać się napić wody, jakby chciała. Albo wyrwać jej zęba za pomocą szczypiec.
The pair of them belong to the nomadic desert people. I know from Uncle Tabit that they believe in ghosts. If the men sleep outside in the open, they cover their faces so that no ghost can get inside them through their mouths. An altar made of wood, rotten and hung with feathers and bones. Just the right setting for a fake sun fragment.
Gdyby udało nam się tak w jakiś sposób zdobyć inny kamień, który by był podobny i go tutaj podmienić. O, jakaś Teresa.
You could polish it back up again. That gives me a rather gleaming idea.
Czyli co, będziemy odbijać światło słoneczne, tak? Od kryształu.
Why don't we see if we can help the sun get its shard to light up?
Don't touch!
No dobra, metalowa tarcza.
Cleaning the shield won't help me. The inner side is too rough.
Ale gdybyśmy połączyli to z piaskiem...
Now it's just sandy.
Jeszcze dodali mokry piasek. Nie da się. Tarcza pokryta piaskiem.
Now I've got a metal shield with wet sand. That will only make the cloth dirty and a shield clean.
Okej. Czyli ja coś jeszcze bym musiał tutaj dodać. Tylko pytanie, co?
Empty. One of those tents that breed here in the desert.
Szkoda, że nie mam już fragmentów mydła.
Her husband speaks on her behalf. I won't be...
Ale może coś jeszcze tutaj znajdę, co bym mógł wykorzystać. W głąb pustyni.
That will only make the cloth dirty and a shield clean.
No właśnie, a nam chodzi o to, żeby tarcza była czysta.
I don't need any wet cloth. That will only make the cloth...
No dobra. No więcej piasku wyjąć nie mogę.
Rather stern, that priestess. She'll
Z kapłanką porozmawiać się więcej nie da. Mogę się cofnąć w głąb pustyni, tak? Ale czy o to tutaj chodzi? A w jaki sposób tą tacę bym musiał wyczyścić?
Guess what the nomad priestess knew?
That you dream of Jamila night and day?
Ruffy, why don't you just leave it?
Why? What he says is true.
Wygadał się.
Please forgive the interruption. But what did the priestess know?
How many key fragments there are in total? 12!
12? How does she know? Does she come from Zerzura too?
Yes, but believe me, she isn't very friendly all the same.
Then you two must have really hit it off.
My brother needs to rest. I'd rather say nothing to her than talk. Chat with Raffi? No. I don't have anything to ask the Emir at the moment.
No dobra, nie da się z nikim porozmawiać. W głąb pustyni. Sterta kamieni.
There are a few stones piled up here. Why not take one for a change?
Ale czy kamień mi pomoże w wyczyszczeniu tacy?
The sand and water make a good abrasive medium. Polished to a shine.
No i o to nam chodziło.
Good idea, but I ought to set it down somewhere.
No to ustaw, nie wiem gdzie, ale... Gdzieś, gdzie by się odbijało od słońca. Czy ja widzę gdzieś jakiś element? Jakiś stolik, może jakieś podwyższenie? Gdzie by mógł tą tacę umieścić? O, na przykład na namiocie.
This is a good place for the mirror. I just have to find the right angle.
The sun splinter is glowing. Look! Look!
Oops. Has the mirror moved?
The sun is reclaiming its splinter.
No! No! That can't be! It can't be!
Ups.
Ah!
Damn, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, the poor woman. However, I'm not going to get a better opportunity than this.
Tylko żebyśmy my się nie podpalili.
Much too dangerous.
No właśnie, potrzebowałbym wody.
That's how you do it.
Jak spierdzielamy. Mam nadzieję, że nic jej się nie stanie.
We've now got 3 pieces of the key out of 12.
The rest of them we'll simply take from the Grand Inquisitor in that monastery. What's it called again?
The stone monastery of the Holy Virgin.
But what if there are then still some pieces missing?
No worries. Our collection will then be complete.
Where do you know that from?
Because I'm not deaf. Back home in Tripoli, it was long going around that the noble Grand Inquisitor was going crazy over 3 pieces of crystal. I'd always thought that it was all to do with something that was made of 3 crystal pieces, but now I know what it was really all about.
Then we have exactly the number he has been looking for. Fantastic!
If he only knew how close he's been all this time.
Then let's do it like Raffi has suggested. Let's go to the monastery and grab the rest.
Onward and upward!
Just a minute. How are we actually going to get there?
Quite simple. We follow the caravan route all the way to the mountains. There, you have to go through an arch of rock, and behind that the pilgrim trail begins. Then you just follow that.
What's all this you? Don't you want to come with us, Honourable Emir?
The monastery is easy to reach, and you'll find it easily enough without me. My journey here is at an end. My valued friends, I am turning back.
But why?
On the search for Zerzura, it has become clear to me that I too have a home city for which my heart longs, and for which it is worth fighting. Tripoli. I am needed more urgently there than here.
Then I thank you for your help.
Yes, Emir. Many thanks for that.
I have you to thank, my dear friends.
Live well, Emir.
Live well. May the voices in your hearts always guide your step, and may the ground beneath your feet be ever firm.
The search for Zerzura brought the group directly to the lion's den. They pitched camp close to the monastery where the Grand Inquisitor was allegedly resident. From the distance came the angry rumbling of a gathering storm.
Ramon is sleeping.
Just as well. The journey has taken its toll on him.
Very true. Rocking about on one of those ships of the desert takes it out of anyone, even under normal circumstances.
Well, I'd rather ride 1,000 times over than have to walk.
No. Such a camel ride feels worse than sailing in a sinking ship, in a storm, and under cannon fire.
Don't tell me you've already experienced such a thing.
Stop bickering and give some careful thought as to how we're going to get into the monastery.
You're right. The convict is more important now.
I'm just wondering exactly how we're going to get in. Creeping up there wouldn't even work in the dark. There's not one single bush to take cover behind.
What if we happen to be nomads, inquiring about a place to rest our heads?
Might work. The monks in the monastery rely on the hospitality of the Bedouins. Otherwise, they'd have been gone long ago.
Good. So we're Bedouins then.
But not dressed like this. I could maybe pass for a son of the desert, but anyone could see from miles away that you are not from around here.
Then let's get wrapped up in desert garments.
No dobra. W takim razie się rozejrzyjmy. Potrzebujemy strój Beduinów. Tu widzę, że mamy jakiś koc. To się może przydać. Bo tak naprawdę innych skrawków materiału w ekwipunku nie mam. Dobra, weźmiemy ten koc, potniemy go na mniejsze kawałki, jakoś tam chustę sobie zrobimy i tak dalej, i tak dalej.
A camel hair blanket. Nice and soft. Just the thing for my sick brother.
Dobra, okryjmy Ramona. Myślałem, że koc będziemy mogli wykorzystać, ale tu widzę, że też mamy jakieś fragmenty. A, torba siodłowa.
Thank you, Feodor.
Ramon is very weak. I better let him rest. Our little hearth. Hopefully warm enough for Ramon. Luckily, Jamila and Rafi thought of everything when they did the packing.
Zwój z tekstem.
Water uncovers the sea.
Ale skoro mamy ten zwój w ekwipunku, to znaczy, że jeszcze będę mógł to gdzieś wykorzystać.
Now we can put the long lengths of cloth from the Corsair's base to good use.
Odłamki skalne.
It looks like that was once a gate. That's where we come from. So that's it. The stone monastery of the Holy Virgin. Hamada, the desert of rocks.
Bo mapy już nie mam w ekwipunku, czyli do innej lokalizacji udać się nie mogę. Czyli wychodzi na to, że coś faktycznie musimy zrobić w tym miejscu. Tylko co? Bo tego fragmentu zwoju z niczym połączyć nie mogę, nie? Aczkolwiek... Dobra, porozmawiajmy z Jamilą.
Jamila?
Klasztor.
Wouldn't it make sense to reconnoiter the monastery before we go into the lion's den?
You want to climb around for hours on end and get yourself spotted in the process. It's better that we don't lose any time. Have you seen Ramon's leg? It's turned black.
Damn it. I'll have another look around.
You do that.
Noga Ramona zrobiła się czarna, wdało się zakażenie. Nieciekawie.
Hello, Raffi.
Hey, Feodorus, what's the plan?
Klasztor.
Maybe one of us ought to reconnoiter the monastery.
That would definitely make sense. I can do that.
I'll come with you. And once we get there, then we can go in.
Good. We'll do it without any reconnaissance. It's perhaps better not to draw things out too much. See you later.
Yes.
Ramon is very weak. I better let him rest.
Wiecie, chciałem polać jego nogę wodą. Może faktycznie by coś w tym pomogło, ale nie. Dobra. Czyli... Jaki jest plan? Plan jest taki, że ja nie mam planu. Klasztor Najświętszej Marii Panny. Nigdzie nie widać Zerzury, ale pozostałe fragmenty klucza są bardzo blisko. Rozbiliśmy obóz niedaleko klasztoru, w którym powinien przebywać wielki inkwizytor. Zwykle wejście tam nie wchodzi w grę. Jeśli jednak bylibyśmy nomadami, szukającymi miejsca do spania, raczej by nas odprawili. Stan Ramona pogorsza się z dnia na dzień. Ciągle zapada w sen na skutek gorączki. Musimy się pospieszyć. Tak, ja to wszystko wiem. Ale skąd wziąć jakieś fragmenty materiału? Ja tutaj nic nie widzę takiego, co byśmy mogli zabrać i ewentualnie pociąć nożem, a następnie się w to przyodziać. Jedynie ten kocyk, który widzieliśmy i okryliśmy Ramona.
That's where we come from.
Klasztor. Nic nie widzę. Za chwilę się okaże, że będę potrzebował odpalić... A, tu mamy jakieś kamienie.
Interesting stones. Not enough for a hearth.
Ja na nich stałem, dlatego tego nie widziałem.
A mat made of palm fibers. So what's it doing here?
Dziurwa.
This definitely has a deeper purpose. I'll just have a feel inside. Hopefully nothing vicious in there.
Dobra, coś wzięliśmy. Mamy ziarno, mamy kawałki materiału, a może z tego się uda jakieś szaty uszyć.
The mat is quite easy to split into fibers.
Włókna palmowe.
The camel metamorphosis still isn't finished.
Czyli mamy tak, igłę, okej.
My needle's missing a hole.
Brakuje dziurki.
One small hole is all it takes to turn a bone splinter into a needle. Now I only have to get the camel through the eye of the needle. Do it yourself, wizard. I hope that my high-fashion Bedouin creation gets through.
Przebierzmy się zatem.
Our cover is ready.
Very good. Let's put them on.
Ramon, we're going to set off for the monastery now. Ramon, are you awake?
Yes, I'm awake. You want to go now?
Exactly, and we'll try and deal with things as fast as we can.
Make sure you are successful. You have to find 9 pieces, not one less.
Of course. Now you look after the other 3.
No, you can't leave them here. What if the soldiers discover the camp? Ramon is much too weak.
You're right. One of us has to stay here with him.
No, I don't want that. Better keep the key fragments on you.
But we can do it, just the two of us.
Yes. Maybe I ought to stay on guard here and...
No. What you have to do is much more important than anything else. And you need every man for the task.
Even if one's a woman.
All right, then we ought to get going.
Yes. Get a move on.
Zostawiać Ramona tutaj samego? Nie wiem, czy jest to rozsądny pomysł. Ale no, nie mamy wyjścia.
No one home.
Or visitors aren't welcome.
Could also be that nobody heard us knocking. The door looks pretty thick.
Hello? Is there anybody there? Hello?
To po co my się w takim razie przebieraliśmy, skoro nikogo nie ma w środku?
Locked. There has to be some way of making your presence known.
I'll have a look around.
Raffi, wait. Perhaps it's better anyway if we split up.
Right. Someone should stay outside and keep the way back secure.
And what with me being the spare part at this Bedouin wedding? I suppose it's obvious.
Nonsense. If something goes wrong, we're all in this together. That's what it's about.
What's wrong with Jamila? Why can't she stay outside?
Because I can probably fight better than you two put together? I'm definitely going in there.
All right then. I'll clamber around here a little and see if there's maybe another entrance.
And if it's not too much trouble, one that might serve as an exit too?
Thanks, Raffi.
Dobra, gościu nie jest ewidentnie zadowolony z tego względu, że zostaliśmy tutaj z Jamilą sam na sam.
There are some big holes in the wall. And what's that?
Ale co nas to interesuje, skoro i tak mu nie ufam?
Aha, a cross. Well, when you're on the way to see a Grand Inquisitor, having a cross surely can't hurt.
Dobra. Artefakt krzyża trafił do naszego ekwipunku.
Strange. Why would these holes be chiseled into the wall?
Could be traps.
Ja powiem tak, nie wkładaj tam ręki, bo mogą to być gniazda pająków.
This hole is smaller. Probably has a different function. Nothing happening there.
Bo może nie mam tam wkładać noża.
The door is locked, like it was before. There's something in Latin chiseled into the wall. Only he who knows the secret of the rocks will gain entry.
Okej. Czyli w tych dziurwach musi być jakaś wskazówka. Musi być coś. Mamy kolejną inskrypcję.
There's something in Latin chiseled into the wall. Only...
Tylko ten, kto zna sekret skał.
Jamila?
Tajemnicze dziury.
Perhaps there's a kind of lever or a bell rope in the holes.
Maybe, or maybe not.
Have a feel inside.
Why me? Aren't you the hero?
Drzwi do klasztoru.
What are we going to do now?
It can't be that there's no doorbell. Travellers must definitely come here seeking sanctuary.
Maybe you can only get in here with a secret password.
But there's no one to hear it. And if we were to climb up and try to...
No, our disguise is perfect. We just have to find the hidden doorbell or a secret opening mechanism.
You're just afraid of climbing, Feodor. Perhaps you think I hadn't noticed?
Rubbish! We simply have much more chance of getting close to the key fragments if we can move around freely in there.
Słowa.
Only he who knows the secret of the rocks will gain entry. Can you make anything of it?
Secret of the rocks. Didn't you find something similar on one of the dead soldiers in the temple?
W sumie... Raffi.
Do you think Raffi is annoyed because he has to stay outside?
Definitely not. In the end, we're doing all this for him too. He was acting like that to put you in a bad mood. With some success, as one can see.
I'll have another look around.
You do that.
No dobra, zwojów na tym użyć nie mogę. Ziarna.
A handful of grain from the Bedouin camp.
Gnota też tutaj wsadzić się nie da. Ale to nie szkodzi. Słuchajcie, moi drodzy, w tym miejscu kończymy ten odcineczek. Do świątyni, a raczej do klasztoru, postaramy się wejść w kolejnym odcinku. A tymczasem dzięki wielkie za uwagę, trzymajcie się i do usłyszenia. Hej!